much, everyone, for staying with us. Well, facts are sacred, isn't it? That's what they say. Senator Ajibala Basuru will not agree with the figures from the NBS. Of course, I would love him to give us his own figures anyways, but the Nigeria's inflation figures reached a new high, hitting 34.19% for June 2024. According to the latest data coming from the National Bureau of Statistics, this is an increase of 0.24 percentage points when compared to the inflation figure for May 2024 released by the NBS. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has again raised the monetary policy rate, which measures interest rates by 50 basis points, which was from 26.25% to 26.75% amid soaring inflation and skyrocketing food prices. Many Nigerians are groaning over the prices of commodities and biting state of the economy. Tonight, I'm also being joined on the program by a renowned political economist, Professor Utomi, who joins us from Onitsha virtually. Thank you so much, Prof, for joining us tonight.
Great pleasure, Shehu.
I know you are one of those who are supporting the planned protest. Are you going to be part of it? Are you going to join them on the street, though?
Excuse me?
Are you supporting the planned protest?
Have you joined people who fabricate rumors? You want me to add you to my lawsuit?
Prof, are you part of the protest or not?
How can I be part of a protest? Nobody called me to tell me there was a protest going on. I had not heard of the protest until I was telling somebody on the phone that I'm on my way to Nigeria, a few days ago. And the person said, I hope you'll not be trapped by protest. I said, which protest? He said, the one that will take place in August. I said, I didn't know about protest too.
But you've been part of protests in the past, Prof. And I imagine that you probably will be part of this one too.
I've been protesting. Protests are very important things to do to get the attention of people who are not listening.
But is this government listening, though, from what you have observed?
Shehu, I'm living across the big pond, far away from here. I don't know who is listening or not listening. All I know is that the numbers that I see are not looking good. And we're dealing with the lives of millions of people. It is not a joke. Sometimes political actors think it is a game. It's not a game. It's the lives of people. People are hungry. People are dying. There are things that can be done. Look, it's time to even stop all this partisan badgering. We have a country that is dying that we need to fix. We are in a moral equivalence of a war, and everybody should sit down and work on this. For the last 9 months, I've been in quiet tweets and this and that, making suggestions about what can be done. Nobody's paying enough attention to what should be done. People who have ideas are offering them, but people who are more interested in transactions are dominating the conversation. I mean, Senator Bashiru just talked with you, kept talking about these are economic, no, not economic. Who cares about the economy when politics can determine the economy? Why are you separating them? If you say change the constitution, of course, one of the economic problems of Nigeria is that the cost of running the National Assembly is unreasonable. So if you cut out the National Assembly, you will have resources to use to help poor people live a better life. So how can you say that's not economic? So I think we should be honest with ourselves and just sit down as citizens and talk about a country that is going through a really horrible patch. Forget all those things that we throw up, party, this, that. Our country is in dire straits. Look, at the beginning of this year, I put out a tweet and I said, the key issue in Nigeria is how we produce our way out of this problem. We know that agriculture has been in trouble. Food production has been going down because people can't go to their farms. In fact, in one of the SBM intelligence reports from about 5 years ago, they were already pointing to the fact that there are people in agricultural areas who have actually not farmed for years. By today, most of those people don't even know how to farm anymore. That's a fundamental problem we have to deal with. that many of our traditional farmers have been prevented from farming for so long that they don't even know how to farm anymore. How do you approach that in terms of how you turn around agriculture? Next thing in January, I tweeted, I said, look, what you need to do, consider this a moral equivalence of a war. Whether it's at the state level or local government level or community level, recruit an army. I remember when I was making that statement, I was mentioning Chivaldo Ugbe, and I was struggling to remember the name of the thing that he was doing. I think it's forest rangers. I said, let's organize those forest rangers, cordon off certain areas of very productive, man them with these people, and say to people, go in and farm. Here are farm manager support systems. Bring in some of our South African friends who have a great long history of this. Provide farm support. Look, legumes grow in 3 months. I don't know what Senator Bashir was talking about. Legumes, 3 months. If in March we had put out these kinds of programs, by now food will be coming out from everywhere. But in the Senate, they are more interested in playing games. They have not provided alternative policies to the government to show them. It's not enmity to give alternative ideas. That's what democracy is about.
But Prof,
you're going to help them out.
Yeah, if I may jump, if I may jump in quickly, Prof. There are a few efforts here that we've seen that this government of the day, some of which Senator Basiru has also reeled out. Part of it, those who have advocated for the removal of subsidy, that is a scam. This president, in the first day in office, removed free subsidy. There are also the multiple efforts.
You miss it. You miss it because just removing subsidy is not enough. Look, subsidy, all of us, I have been saying for 20 years, we need to get rid of these things because it's distorting the economy. The price systems is being distorted. The biggest source of this distortion is NNPC. What reforms have they carried out in NNPC since they got there? I thought the first thing would be to fire all the guys in NNPC and begin to rebuild it. People who have been paying people to run a refinery that does not exist for 12, 15 years. Are those managers? People who have said that we are consuming 6 times the level that any normal statistical projection will show you Nigeria can consume of petrol. They should all have been sacked a long time ago. I have told you on this show a remark that was made to me when I was researching the book Managing Uncertainty back in the 90s. I was interviewing an immediate past group managing director of NNPC. And I said to him, should we privatize NNPC? And he looked at me kind of coyly. I said, is it not privatized already? I said, what do you mean? NNPC has been long privatized. The problem is that those who own it did not pay for it. It's in my book. It's not a story. NNPC Group Managing Director said that. And we get to power, we know that is a major sort of distortion. We're talking about removing subsidy and we're not touching NNPC. We cannot be considered to have a full grasp of what we're dealing with. So you maintain all the costs that are problematic with the nature of the structure and operation of NNPC. You maintain all the problematic challenges around fuel supply, and you say you remove subsidy. Hey, it will hit you.
So,
First of all, you're going to remove subsidy. Hold on, Shehu, let me educate you a little. Shehu, you don't let people tell you so that you can learn. You see, when you want to do that kind of thing, you begin by saying, my people, my country, we've got these problems. This is the source of where the problem came from. Together we can fix it. On my part, I as your leader, from today, I will only go around in Toyota Corolla. Is
that what President Tinubu should have done?
Yes. Then get everybody on board and said, yes, so together we fix our country. You don't talk about removing subsidy and people are going to be suffering like crazy, and we're talking about budgets of yachts and presidential jets and motorcades of Senate presidents, and this chill is a political economy. Don't anybody tell you this is not economics. Hey, That's why
Prof.
I called myself what I called myself.
Yeah, Prof. You're a political economist and a renowned one. You have been on the ground for far too long that a lot of people need to listen to you. Perhaps Senator Bashiru can take a few things and take it to his political party. Perhaps this government also can learn one or two things from your experience and your knowledge. Can you say, because Senator Bashiru told us earlier, that their government and the party are doing almost everything possible to fix this economy. The question is, are we in the right direction? Are we headed the right way? If we are not, can we take a U-turn?
Yeah, let me give you a simple example. A few weeks ago, I heard this story about how the government was going to massively import food to take care of people who are hungry. And my first reaction was, oh my God, oh my God. Because of a very simple thing. I have told you already that those who are farmers, there are many of them who don't know how to farm anymore because they've not been farming for 10 or more years. So we should be thinking, how do we retrain them to begin to farm? And then we say, oh, we're going to bring in food. What will happen is that everybody who is involved in agriculture will stop in that area. You don't earn enough to keep bringing in food to keep these people. It will take you a couple of years to get things going. So what you needed to do was what I said earlier in January, create these protection areas, begin to reteach people how to farm, do everything to make it keep going. Yeah, if there are gaps you can fill them. But don't say you're going to massively bring in food. When I said this, people say, but Utomi has come again. Thank God, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina repeated exactly what I said. He was agriculture minister, president of the African Development Bank. Hey, there's enough intelligence in Nigeria and in Nigerians around the world for us not to be making these kinds of mistakes that are completely avoidable.
Let me show you, and perhaps I would love Senator Bashiru to also respond to this. This is what Atiku Abubakar has said about the protest. And he's saying that there are a lot of people who are behind the protests in the past, 2012, and other protests. And he was actually questioning some of the issues raised by the government of the day and some political actors on the issue of some of the decision to say do not protest. And he said, for the avoidance of doubt, the rights of citizens to protest are enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution and affirmed by our court. Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution, as altered, unequivocally guarantees a right to peaceful assembly and association. Chasing shadows and contriving purported persons behind the planned protest is an exercise in futility when it is obvious that Nigerians, including supporters of Tinubu and the ruling APC, are caught up in the hunger, anger, and hopelessness brought about by the incompetence and cluelessness of the government. It is highly ironic that those who now seek to stifle these rights by themselves leading protests in 2012. A responsible government must ensure a safe and secure environment for citizens to exercise their constitutionally guaranteed rights to peaceful protest. Any attempt to suppress these rights is not only unconstitutional, but a direct affront to our democracy. Prof, I'd like you to quickly comment on this position. What do you make of those who are planning to go on the street? Perhaps the agenda charter of demands read by Senator Bashiru is totally different from some of the charter of demands that we are also seeing, which relates to the issue of the economy. But Prof, let me get you a quick reaction from you on this protest.
There is nothing that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has said in that piece that I would not have written. So I don't know what kind of comment I would make about it. I was starting to say to you earlier in the conversation before we got cut off that, look, what is democracy? The ultimate philosopher of modernity and democracy is the German Jürgen Habermas. And Habermas essentially describes modernity and democracy at a point of convergence, the nexus of rational public conversation, where freedom of expression creates marketplaces of ideas which lead to people adjusting their understanding of issues such that you can make progress. I think that it is a tragic thing for our country that citizens are trying to express themselves, and we are considering it, what's the word that has been used? Insurrection. Insurrection by who? For who? Does the country belong to some people? It belongs to all of them, and their voices need to be heard. Look, one of the things that we have been challenged the most is that the voices of our people are muted and lost. Stephen R. Covey, before he died, in writing The Eighth Habit, says the most important habit of the 21st century will be helping people find their voice. And you, Sheung, all of you have a duty to help people find their voices, not allow fascists, intended authoritarians, and people who don't understand democracy to say to you, you cannot raise your voice because it is insurrection. Excuse me? Did I carry a gun? I just said, I don't like the way things are going.
Just for a moment, Prof.
We need to lay that ground to know what we are doing. That first one.
Yeah. Prof, give me a moment.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you because your closing moment or your closing statement, I would like it to be in the direction of what this government needs to do. Because there are those who are thinking maybe this government is confused and do not know the right way to go. But I'd like you to close by telling us what you think could be right way. But just give me a moment. Let me allow Senator Ajoba Basiru to respond to Atiku Abubakar there. And you heard what Prof said in respect of what is going on in the country. It does look from what Prof said, and I can infer that things are bad, and this government is not doing the right thing.
You see, as far as I'm concerned, talk is very cheap. And if I have time, I will take on some of the things that even the Prof has said, and I will see the futility of some of the things they have said. It's easier to criticize, but it is far difficult to come with a workable solution for a country that is challenged like our own. And I will take one of the issues. Before I talk about Atiku Abubakar, I expect him on the day of the protest, he should lead the protest. Nobody has stopped anybody from leading the protest. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our party, has never stifled any opposition. So I don't know where he got it from. That we are even here, and you are here, you are making criticism of our administration. Have you suffered any disability from doing that? On every radio stations, TV stations, people come with different ideas. Some of them adverse to our government. Some of us support our government. Has anybody been arrested for making criticism against our government? That is what democracy is all about. Heterogeneity of ideas. Even on this table, we have agreed, we have disagreed. So to a Prof to stomp about fascism, I don't know where he got idea of fascism. And who is the fascist? Who is not a Democrat? We are Democrats. As you are canvassing that you want to protest, we also have the right, democratic right, to canvass that the basis of your protest has no basis. And that's what democracy is about. And that's what we are doing. We are not, I've said, we have not banned anybody from protesting. But we are saying and canvassing our own idea, this is our view, and this is why the protest should not hold. I don't think that is fascism. I also know what fascism is all about. If it's fascism, we'll not talk. We'll roll out tankers, which nobody has done. People are free to protest. But at the same time, we also are free to canvass our idea about what we are doing and why the futility of the exercise in the protest. Then now, talking about the economy, he has said farmers are no longer in the farm. And I think Prof should know that if it's about insurrection and banditry, which started during PDP administration, what percentage of the country was affected by insurrection? To say that farmers are no longer going to market, they're going to farm, and that they need to be trained. What is the percentage of the Nigerian population of farmers that were affected? And I've here given you statistics of what we have even done in the area of wheat alone, that we have supported 407,429 wheat farmers just within 1 year of administration, and this has led to cultivation of 118,657 hectares of wheat in 50 states of the country. So it's easier to make criticism. Prof, it's easier to say these things are going wrong, but come up with your own workable solution. And democracy is a market of ideas.
I mean, when Nigerians who voted your party and who are seeing things and feeling the pinch are responding to the policy of your government, and they're saying that things are not working, I guess
an adverse is a politician too, and his party was defeated in the general election.
Prof, let me get your final statement. You help us close the program. Just in about 60 seconds, if you may. Where do we go from here?
Look, I think what we should do, we should send politicians like the man talking to some concentration camp without fascism coming, and allow Nigerians to get together from all shades to sit down, recognize that the crisis of now is the moral equivalence of the war, and work together. Even General Gowon, as a young 32-year-old, in taking power in 66, realized where Nigeria was and brought everybody together and said, okay, let's sit down. How do we move forward? The ideas that are being put forward here, I mentioned Akin Adesina's position on the same thing that I said. It's not rocket science. Anybody who really has followed agriculture will go back to what happened in the onset of structural adjustment, and we'll see how what we're talking about happened back then. And it's not enough to say you gave 120,000 farmers. It's simple. If you give them that money, the output will make prices
go to
where they should go, not number of people you give money. It's the output that matters.
Yeah. Professor Utomi, renowned political economist. Thank you so much indeed for your time. And Senator Ajibola Basiru, the National Secretary of the APC. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
You didn't give me to make party shots.
No. You had your time.